Okay, so really quick before the video begins, I want to say thank you. Y'all really seem to like the wallpaper pack that I did for the Apple Watch Ultra video that I did last week. So I decided to release my full 6K resolution wallpaper pack for desktops. I'm calling the pack Colors and Curves because it's basically a super minimal wallpaper pack, but it also has a lot of punchy colors in it. So I think it's a really cool combination that looks pretty good in any setup if you ask me. It's only $8, 12 wallpapers, and 6K resolution. That's going to be in the link down below. What is up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing a review on the AirPods Pro 2 after having them for a couple weeks. My thoughts, my opinions, should you buy them if you already have AirPods, if you don't. We're going to cover everything in this video. But first, I wanted to start with the case because that's like the most different thing about the AirPods Pro 2 from the outside. And it's really the only way you can differentiate these two is if you look for these specific things on the new case. And the first and the most important, in my opinion, is the new lanyard loop. Just kidding. It's a lanyard loop. The weird thing about this lanyard loop, in my opinion on it, is that it feels weird for a company like Apple. Apple is so specific about the way that their products are designed and that they look that they didn't even put a lanyard loop on their AirTags, which is literally made to be attached to things to track them, but somehow the design decision to put a lanyard loop on the AirPods Pro got through, which is very surprising to me. I don't love that it's metal. I understand why for durability, but it doesn't look very good on the case, in my opinion. It doesn't look very minimal. The other weird thing is that Apple doesn't actually make a lanyard for the lanyard loop. There's no Apple branded lanyard, which again feels weird for a company that sells a $20 microfiber cloth. So that's a thing. I mean, overall, it's a lanyard loop. It's not going to cause anyone any heartbreak, but it's there and it feels weird, so I'll leave it at that. The other thing about the AirPods Pro 2 case is that it has a new 3-hole speaker on the bottom. Before we get to that, if anybody knows what the other hole on the left side of the AirPods Pro 2 case does, let me know. I've heard it's like a vent maybe for the speaker. I don't really know, and I'm really curious because these little things always bother me. You can't play Nickelback through this, not because they're a great band, but because it doesn't play music. The only thing this 3-hole speaker is really made for is to play sound, and more specifically, sound in the case of things happening like Find My. Find My can now play sound through the AirPods Pro 2 case, which is super handy for people like me who lose their AirPods all the time. The previous solution basically just requires you to play the sound through the AirPods buds themselves, which wasn't very loud. It actually had a warning that you could damage your ears, and this is just a lot more convenient because now you can actually find the whole case instead of just playing sound through the earbuds. It also plays noises for things like low battery and connecting, and I think a few other things, but overall, it's basically just like a little helpful speaker to send off noises when things are happening. The other thing is that it has a new U1 chip inside of the actual case itself, which means that you can do precision finding, which is, if you don't know, you can take your phone, walk around your house, it'll tell you how far away you are and what direction your case might be. All just things that are helpful for people like me who lose their AirPods all the time. Now, lastly, talking about battery life for the case itself, Apple says it provides up to 30 hours of battery life. I found that to be true. I have not run into a situation yet where these have died on me. The V1s died on me quite a bit, but it could just be because the battery is really new on these and it has full charge still. If you do want to charge your AirPods Pro 2 case, you can do it all the same ways that you would do on the V1. You can plug it in through Lightning on the bottom, or you can use wireless charging. The new thing with this case is that it actually has a magnet in them. So when you go to do the MagSafe charging, it's actually going to do the MagSafe part of the charging, which means that it's going to stick to any MagSafe compatible charger, like your Apple Watch charger, for example. I think all these are really just nice touches that I really appreciate, and I think they're great additions. Besides the lanyard loop, feels kind of weird. Everything else, thumbs up. Now let's talk about the actual AirPods themselves, because these are amazing. The first thing to note right out of the box is that the new AirPods also include an extra small ear tip size. On the V1s, they only included small, medium, and large, so for people like my fiance who have a hard time keeping AirPods in their ears, those have been great. I actually personally downsized to a medium because I also do have issues with these sometimes staying in my ears, but the medium tips work fine. So in terms of comfortability, These things are great. They never really fall out. The ear tip sizes have offered enough options for me where I find them comfortable, which is great. Now, I'm gonna read the little jargon that Apple says about these things, about their new quality, but I'll talk about my opinion after. Apple says the new AirPods offer a higher bandwidth connectivity over Bluetooth 5.3, which includes improved audio processing. Each earbud has a low distortion audio driver and a custom amp to power it. All of that's just really fancy words to say the audio should be better in these. And coming from this review as a point of view of somebody who's not an audiophile, I don't know audio things very well. All I really know when I put on headphones is, do they sound good or do they sound bad? And the AirPods Pro 2, they sound great. They sound really good. But if I was gonna be honest, and I said compared to the AirPods Pro 1, personally, unless I'm specifically playing two sounds over and over, or two songs, the same parts of the songs, I don't really notice a difference, and that's not a bad thing. All I'm saying is that the AirPods Pro 1 already had such good audio quality that we've reached like a limit where unless you specifically are listening for the improvements from the V1 to the V2, you're not really gonna hear the audio quality difference. It's just still gonna sound like a really good set of earbuds. Now, this isn't to say some people won't notice it, but I would say the average person isn't really gonna notice the difference, but it's also not a bad thing because it just means they're really good and they've stayed good over the versions. Now, my favorite part about these is the noise canceling, so let's talk about that. And these have a new H2 chip inside of them, which basically allows for double the amount of noise canceling from the V1s. Now, I have mixed feelings on this. The noise canceling is amazing. It's pretty much like the V1s, just better. But again, you don't really notice it unless you're actively comparing the two because the noise canceling on the V1s was already so good. My issue comes into the fact that sometimes these AirPods, and specifically the 2s, because it didn't do this on my V1s, they don't know how to process certain sounds. And it's a very specific example, but on my motorcycle, these new AirPods Pro 2, they can't filter out the sound of my engine like revving down the street very well. So when I'm on the motorcycle actively, it like almost like wavers like because it can't process it maybe fast enough or it doesn't know what to do with it. The V1s didn't have that problem, so I think that's something to do with the new way that the chip is gonna be processing it. It's a very specific example. That one thing bothers me, but overall, noise canceling has pretty much held up to what I expect. My biggest complaint about these is actually the connectivity. And I have this weird issue, and I don't know if it's just mine, but sometimes when I go to listen to music or play a video from my iPhone, it shows that I'm connected to the AirPods. But when I actually go to play it, the AirPods don't show up in the options to play sound through. I don't know why this is. I haven't been able to find a way to fix it besides to completely turn off my iPhone and turn it back on. And this probably isn't a problem that most people are gonna have, but I also didn't have this problem with my V1, so it's kind of frustrating going to the V2 and having this problem. Overall, it hasn't been that big of an issue. It happens maybe 30% of the time. And I'm sure if I force reset my AirPods Pro 2 and reconnected them completely, it'd be fixed. But I'm lazy and I have not done that. Now, a few more mentions about the actual AirPods themselves. The new AirPods Pro 2 have a capacitive swipe sensor on the front of the stem. And all this really means is that you can control the volume of your AirPods by swiping up and down on your ear or on the AirPod in your ear, not on your ear. That probably wouldn't do anything. And my thoughts on this are, it's good. I like that you can do that. It's a really cool feature. I love being able to swipe up and down. I wish they added a few more things for us to be able to do, maybe like skip tracks or go back a track, which you can do by going into your phone, obviously, but it'd be nice to be able to swipe up and down on either side and do different things. Right now, the current software version, you can only change the volume. It's not customizable, but maybe in future updates, it'll be there. And then lastly, battery life. Apple claims 6 hours of battery life. I have not run into a situation where my AirPods have died. And then even if they did, the extra 30 hours of battery life on the case, I'm not concerned at all about these dying. My listening experience has been awesome. I've been watching The Walking Dead, and I've been watching 2, 3, 4 episodes at a time. Using these, my ears don't hurt, they feel comfortable, the sound feels great, and the battery doesn't die. All of which are just kind of like the ultimate package that I look for when I'm using headphones. I'm not an audiophile. I don't care about the super low lows or the tinginess of this and that. I care that when I'm watching The Walking Dead or listening to music for 4 hours at a time while I'm studying or doing work, do they stay comfortable? Do they still sound good? And do they not die? And these AirPods Pro 2 check all of those boxes. It's great. Now, should you actually pick up a pair of the AirPods Pro 2? My opinion's kind of all over the place depending on your situation. If you have no AirPods, or you have AirPods non-Pro versions, 100%, I would say if you're looking to upgrade and you want noise canceling headphones, AirPods Pro 2 will check all your boxes. These things are amazing. The sound quality is great. Noise canceling is great. Battery life is great. I actually started off with a pair of the non-pros, and then upgrading to the pros, I was like, I'm never going back. So if you are in that boat, you should probably try it. The pros are worth it. If you already have AirPods Pro, you have the V1s, and they work. The battery life is fine. They don't have disconnecting problems. The audio is fine. They're in great shape. There's really no real reason that you need to upgrade. You're not getting anything that much different from the Pro 2s than you would from your current V1s that are justifying the $250 price tag. Now, of course, if you have the money and you want to do it, that's totally up to you. I'm just saying, if you've been kind of debating, should I do it? Do I need to? Probably not. These things are good, they're great, but also the V1s are also really good too. So there's really no reason you have to upgrade. Now, if your AirPods Pro 1 are falling apart, dying, not connecting, and overall kind of terrible like mine were, I'm happy that I upgraded. I was going to buy a new pair anyways when my V1s died, so for me, it kind of was justifiable because I knew that I was going to do it anyways. I waited till the new ones came out, picked them up, and I'm very, very happy with my purchase. But I'm curious to hear what your thoughts are. Do you have a different experience with the AirPod Pro 2? Do you have them? Are you going to get them? Are you not? And why not if you're not going to get them? I love talking with you all down in the comments. But other than that, that's my opinion review of the AirPods Pro 2 after a couple weeks. I think they're great. And yeah, I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.